Poppy, crispy artichokes for 12, right? Oui, oui. So the name Heritage, because this is restaurant one of my hospitality brand, and what I wanted to do was kind of just be like completely authentic to myself. And the vision that I had for the restaurant since the beginning was taking some of the oldest recipes I have from my parents, my grandparents, and some other techniques I learned from family members along the way. You know, new modern ways of eating. You know, Italian food is usually very big in family style, so I just wanted to make a little bit more of the modern way of eating of small plates and stuff like that. But yeah, so Heritage is really just trying to stay true to you know, to what I grew up with all my life, and pump out some really cool, new, unique food that Fort Lauderdale hasn't seen. So those pies for table 3, whenever they're ready. Love of food. I mean, being an Italian kid, you know, we grew up in the kitchen. You know, some of our biggest decisions in life were either made at the stove or, you know, hanging out with our parents at a dinner table or at the espresso machine. So, you know, the love of food definitely was from a very young age. You know, when we're sick, we eat. When we celebrate, we eat. When we're just hanging out and we're bored, we eat. It's just what Italians do. So, you know, the love of food wasn't ever something that was kind of forced or something I had to get into. It just kind of was naturally just kind of like in my genetic makeup. I mean, I kind of, you know, ever since I was a kid, I knew I was going to be a chef, and it was the most natural thing to just know in life what you were going to do without having to make a decision. So it was very cool. Pies are coming out. Those are table 12. Fort Lauderdale, I chose Fort Lauderdale because originally I was going to do this project in Miami, but I'm from here. So along with Heritage being authentic and me making this restaurant authentic to myself, it was more of, you know, I'm from here. I want to show Fort Lauderdale what good, you know, what real good food is. None of these big kind of commercially restaurants, more of a chef-driven concept, something very unique and more of like this Manhattan vibe. And, you know, I just wanted to stay authentic, and, you know, this is where I'm from. So I wanted to kind of, you know, I grew up in this neighborhood. I want to continue to grow with the neighborhood and the community. So it just made perfect sense, and it was the most organic decision. My favorite dish, oh, that's a tricky question. I have a couple of them, but the bolognese is definitely magical. I think for me, it's definitely blending my mom and my dad's style together, for sure, with a little bit of tweaks of my own. It's a magical dish for me because something that I wanted to do was impart a lot of different flavors from both, you know, from both Palermo and Naples, and it just really brings me back to both of my grandparents' houses when I taste, you know, specific nuances in the dish. So that one's a pretty near and dear dish to my heart, for sure. I'd say in about another hour we should put it in, and then we'll take it out as we need it. I want to see if that helps. Should be room temp.